Alrighty, good evening, trippers, afternoon, morning, whenever you're finding the time to in your day to view this video. I appreciate you taking the time to take a peek. As many of you saw, that we have the poll up on the club page for either discontinuing as a club, continuing as a club, or restructuring the club due to just basically, to be honest, lack of participation. And it's not necessarily any one person's fault or anything. It's just with the way our lives are, things are so busy. It just makes it real difficult to just add something else to the plate. So we decided as a club, we had 29 people view the post. Out of that 29, we had 9 to take the time to vote. And I'd like to thank those people that took the time to vote. As you can see in the poll, that everyone pretty much has agreed to go with a restructuring of some sort. And so Rick and I got together today and put together a restructure for the club that we think that will work hopefully a little bit better and be a little bit more convenient on people. So let's get started on that. Yes, it's S.T.F.C. Restructure plan. Basically, one is we'll finish out this 2020 season as scheduled, with the exception of October being the last monthly meeting to receive a point for the 2020 Angler of the Year. So basically, we'll have our normal Friday night meeting in September, as well as in October, but there will not be one in November, and we don't generally have one in December anyway, because everybody shows up to the banquet, and that's pretty much the December meeting is the banquet. So basically, all of you that are in the race for Angler of the Year, I'm gonna sometime this week I'll get all the points added up and get that posted up as soon as I can, so everyone can see where they're sitting before we head off to Bon Butte. Might encourage a few folks to get down there that are only a few points out of the swinging for Angler of the Year. Number 2 is as of or before the banquet, December 5th, all club funds will be exhausted to zero for raffle prizes. So basically, we are doing a semi-dissolve of the club. We're not actually getting rid of the club. It's just we're dissolving the current format and starting with the new format in the 2021 season. So part of that dissolved format is that we will no longer be, taking in funds of any kind or anything like that. So basically, first step in the dissolving that is, getting our club account down to zero, and that will be done through raffle prizes at the banquet. So that way, come get your tickets. I don't know how we're going to work that. That's one thing that we haven't ironed out yet is maybe so many raffle tickets to each person, depending on, the number of people that are there. We'll just figure that out, Rick and I, and as we get that, how we're going to approach that, we'll let you know. But basically, the goal is to get the club count down to zero with no funds hanging in. Part 3, the 2 radios will be kept by the club because those were donations that was a donation to the club from the Spring Trip account. So basically, this guys from Spring Trip 2 years ago basically donated the radios to the club, and so the club's going to hang on to those and use them for Spring Trip and any future events that the club might have, which we are going to have some events, but it's just not going to be anything like it was. Number 4, as of December 5th, the club board will be dissolved, as well as the club bylaws. So in other words, we'll just be rolling as a club, and basically it's not going to be, really any sort of structure to it, other than the fact that, Rick and I are the founders, and pretty much it'll be him or I running events, you know. So basically, if we do have an event, which we will, it'll be either him or I that will be, you know, in charge of those events. So, because like I said, we're just not going to roll with bylaws. We're not going to dissolve the club board because it's just been a hassle, one, to fill positions on it, and two, we're getting the same people year after year filling those positions, and basically we don't need it. So we're going to do away with that structured part of it. It's just going to be a club page basically on Facebook to get together, post up your pictures, brag about your catch, and then, you know, like I said, we'll have a few things during the year to get together and see each other. Tournament rules will remain in effect. That's because tournament rules will remain in effect, one, mainly for spring trip, which brings us into no more gold memberships or memberships of any kind. Everyone will come and go as they please and see fit. If you want to participate, you're more than welcome, and the door's wide open. If you don't, can't make it, whatever, you know, no sweat, no biggie, and everything's good to go. So like I said, no more type of memberships of any kind, and everyone just kind of goes in front. It's going to be more of a chance just to get together and hang out if you've got the time to do so. Number 6, our major focus will mainly be on spring trip as a club, and that's still going to remain a guys only event. So I apologize to gals right now, but yeah, it's going to basically, we're going to, you know, our main focus and our main concern and our main objective throughout the year is going to be what needs to be done for spring trip as far as trophies, gifts, and that type of stuff. That's more than enough of the full plate for me. And so yeah, we're just going to roll that way. So yeah, spring trip will be number 1. Like I said, with the addition, and here's what Rick and I came up with the addition of one early spring event, sometime probably in March, early April, and then we're going to have one late fall event, which will be sometime in, you know, either late September, early part of October. So basically, the club will now only have 3 events per year. So we'll have an early spring trip, which is guys only still, and then a late fall event. So the spring and fall events, number 7 here on the list, the spring and fall events will have a $10 a person a head entrance fee, just to keep things interesting and fun. And maybe to generate some, you know, get some people out there that, you know, wants to throw $10 into a kitty and, you know, maybe go home with, you know, 4 or 5 times that much. So basically, yeah, the spring fall event, spring trip will remain the same because we compete for the trophies. But the early spring, late fall event will be a $10 a person entrance fee. With the payout, it's going to be determined by number of participants that participate in the event. The way the breakdown on payout rolls is 3rd place will receive their $10 entrance fee back. So 3rd place will definitely, you know, is guaranteed to get their $10 back. 2nd and 1st place payouts, as mentioned before, will be decided by the number of participants. And that will be done, like I said, by myself or Rick, or both, as acting tournament or event directors. So basically, when we come in for weigh-in, the payout will already be decided and handled accordingly. Basically, Rick and I are going to roll with the same formula that we roll with our payouts for poker. When we play poker, you know, 3rd place gets their buy-in back, and then, you know, 2nd and 3rd is determined by the number of players and divided, you know. So we usually try to do it 60-40 split, you know, between 1st and 2nd if we can, or something very close to that. So that's how that's going to roll. Tournament rules, like I said, will remain in effect, and will be in effect for all future events. So that would be the fall event, spring event, and spring trip. Spring number 9 here on the list. Spring trip will remain with its current and permanent home of 10 Mile Lakes. The spring and fall events are more than likely going to be bigger bodies of water for you folks to know. So we're going to be, and more than likely they're going to be far enough away that they're going to entail an overnight stay of some sort. So we're looking, probably at places like Selma, Applegate, Silcoos, 10 Mile, and etc. Some, like I said, some of the bigger bodies of water, which, normally to get to the bigger bodies of water, we're driving a little bit further. And where we're only going, 3 times a year, twice as a club, we figured let's make it worth our while to go. So, like I said, this is all Rick and I. So places will be, like I said, big places, so like Selmac, you're going to want to drive down on a Friday, spend Friday night, fish Saturday, spend Saturday night, drive home on Sunday. So you got a 2-night stay there. Applegate would be the same way. Silcoos, you can kind of get away and drive down, spend the night, or spend the night down somewhere close to the lake, fish Saturday, come home on Sunday. And more than likely these are all going to be Saturday events, sorry Ryder, but it just makes it easier for scheduling, especially when we go to these faraway places, to have it on Saturday. So yeah, it will be, like I said, bigger bodies of water and more than likely involve an overnight stay, 1 night or maybe 2. There will be videos updated for, like I'm doing now, there will be video updates for members to watch at their own leisure. So when you can find the time, because then there won't be any points involved in, whether you watch it live or not. Excuse me. So it'll be up, and then everybody can just watch it when they've got the time to catch it, for all the future events. But events will be scheduled only 6 to 8 weeks before. I'm not going to get caught up in, like we did this year, putting out a whole schedule and then spend, the entire season revamping, changing places due to water levels, availability, and whatnot. So basically we're going to decide the early fall event. We already know where we're going on spring trip. Spring trip's June 3rd, 6th. So I'd be looking, as far as the early spring event, we'll probably have that out sometime in January. And probably what we're going to do is we're just going to put a poll up for the membership with, 1 or 2 lake choices. Excuse me. With 1 or 2 lake choices, and then the club can decide where they want to go. And then we'll decide from there. Rick and I will, we'll listen to you guys as a club. But when it boils right down to it, basically we're going to have the final say on where we go and when. And if you want to join us, great. That's the whole thing, is to get down there and join us. So, but, we're going to try and still make it, as much your decision as possible. So, but like I said, we had 29 people look at this poll, the post with the poll on it, and out of the 29, we only had 9 people take the time to even put a vote down, and only a handful commented to why they picked what they did. So there again lies the problem, it boils down to participation, and we're just not seeing the participation level at a point where it justifies the work involved. And so we're just going to try and make it easier on ourselves as well as the membership. So yeah, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to PM me, comment below, and I'll answer your questions. Like I said, the only thing that I think that we've got a problem with right now, I haven't figured out how we're going to deal with, is getting this club account down to 0, have a raffle, and decide, who gets tickets and how many tickets. Maybe we'll give 2 tickets to everybody or something like that. And then once someone wins something, you're out. You can't win again. You're only allowed to win once, and then you're out. Might do something like that, because basically I'm going to go with big prizes. I'm not going to dilly-dally around with, 29 piles of stuff. Probably try and keep that down to, maybe a half a dozen prize packages with, some bigger ticket items in them, and just roll that way, and maybe one really super nice gift of some sort. So yeah, that's probably what we'll do is everybody gets one raffle ticket and have a half a dozen different piles, and winners take it home. And then from that point, we won't have a money problem. We've never had money problems, but we won't have money issues to deal with. We won't have. It's just gonna be a shrunken down version of what we're doing now, and who knows, maybe later on down the road, depending on participation levels and that type of things can change. But right now, I think this is the best way to roll. We're going to roll into 2021 with this restructure format and see how it goes, and we'll decide from there. But I think this is going to work out a lot better for everybody, including myself. So yes, I will have a September meeting as scheduled, first Friday of September. I don't have that schedule in front of me, apologize. And then there will also be the October, because at that time we'll be able to determine Angler of the Year. So that will be the last live meeting, and then our next time we'll get together will be at the banquet in December, on December 5th, Saturday, December 5th, 6 o'clock, and I'll make those reservations as soon as I'm able to make them. So any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. PM, comment. Thank you for your time. God bless. Hope all's doing well. Nay.